The Red Cross responds to nearly 66,000 disasters every year, most of them house fires. Red Cross President and CEO Gail McGovern says you need to develop an evacuation plan and practice it, especially with your children. It takes just 2 minutes for a home to be engulfed in flames.
Practice those drills. We all think our kids know what to do. They don't. We need to teach them. We have started a large campaign where we're going into vulnerable communities and helping install smoke alarms. Already 92 lives were saved, and 4 of those lives were saved by a 5-year-old girl who remembered what we taught them during these fire drills, and she got her family out. We also have a slew of free apps that people can download onto their smartphones. It's what to do in every kind of disaster you can imagine, how to prepare and how to recover.
To help support all the Red Cross does and to make a financial donation, go to redcross.org. That's redcross.org.
See that cute little dog in the pet store window? Chances are it came from a puppy mill. A breeding facility that forces caged, neglected, and often sick dogs to churn out puppy after puppy to be sold for profit. Meanwhile, millions of wonderful, healthy pets end up in animal shelters. This leads to the killing of more than 9,000 by the end of today. But with one simple choice, you can help. Just by deciding to adopt instead of purchase your next pet. Animal shelters are full of amazing pets looking for a home. When you adopt your new best friend, not only are you saving a life, you're taking a stand against puppy mills. When your friends see the smart choice and impact you've made, they adopt their next pet and share with 5 of their friends, who share with 5 more. Before long, thousands get involved. Pet stores stop selling dogs from puppy mills, and even more lives are saved. And with your help, we can save them all. Visit bestfriends.org/puppymills to learn more.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Jeremy Schaap. You may know me from ESPN's Outside the Lines and Sports Center. What you probably don't know is that I've suffered from Crohn's disease for almost 20 years. The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation of America's Take Steps, Be Heard walk program is the largest national walk program dedicated to raising funds and awareness to combat Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis. To learn more about how you can help and to find a walk site near you, please visit www.cctakesteps.org.
Think fast. In the short time it takes to listen to this message, a small flame can turn into a big fire. Several minutes more, and thick, poisonous smoke may have filled your lungs and reduced your ability to respond. Give it 5, and your entire home may be filled with flames.
Keep breathing. We got you.
Don't let your world go up in smoke. Have working smoke alarms and practice an escape plan for you and your loved ones. Learn more at usfa.fema.gov, because fire is everyone's fight.
Have you mixed your pain meds, your sleep meds, your allergy meds? Call the Poison Helpline. Has your child eaten a tube of toothpaste, a chip of paint, a wild mushroom? Call the Poison Helpline. Have you been bitten by a spider, a snake, an insect? Call the Poison Helpline. Poisonings can happen at the home, on the job, or in the great outdoors. Call the Poison Helpline first for fast, free advice from medical professionals. Call 1-800-222-1222 anytime, anywhere. 1-800-222-1222. Save the number, save a life. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Hi, I'm Hillary Duff. As a mom, I'm proud to support the March of Dimes in helping more women have full-term pregnancies and healthy babies. That's why I walk in March for Babies. The money we raise funds research and local programs that help babies overcome the challenges of premature birth and birth defects. Sign up today at marchforbabies.org. Together, we can help make healthier babies possible for thousands of families.
The following program is closed captioned for the thinking impaired.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
Studio located somewhere within the great granite state of New Hampshire is Rod Eccles.
And welcome everyone, one and all. Here it is on a Friday.
Welcome to Freedom Friday.
Yes, indeed. Here it is, Friday, April number 21 in the year of our Lord 2017. It is a rather rainy, chilly day here in northern New England. But it is Friday, and on Fridays we take things a little bit lighter as we try to slide on into the weekend to celebrate our freedom, us gaining some freedom back. Yes, indeed. We love the freedom stuff. It is also basically an open mic Friday where just about anything goes. Just about anything goes. Call in number 603-835-3226, and we can talk about just about anything that you like. Just keep it clean, please. You want to talk about science? We can talk about science. You want to talk about space exploration, Elon Musk? We can talk about those things. You want to talk about the dirt and the pH levels outside your house? Well, we probably won't talk about that because that won't interest anybody except maybe the worms in your yard. But, we'll talk about just about anything else. And so the call-in number is 603. If it interests you, then it'll probably interest me. 603-835-3226. Got a lot on tap for you this morning as well. A little bit of a follow-up to the story yesterday about the DACA. The young man, the 23-year-old Mexican DACA recipient out in California that I brought you yesterday. He was a young man that was a dreamer, was protected by DACA. He looks like he seems like a good kid. Not going to die. He looks like a good kid. He looks like the Mexican version of somebody I used to work with. And the person I used to work with is actually French. Of French descent, which is really kind of weird. So now Mexicans are looking like French. But he looks exactly, and this guy is, he's probably about 30 now. So they're not too far off in age. So no, he can't be the kid's, this guy's daddy. But he reminds me of this. He looks almost exactly like him. But he reminds me of this person that I once worked with. But this young man, his Juan Manuel Montes. Let's see if we can do it in a Spaniard type of way or Latino type of way. His name was Juan Manuel Montes. You have to say it really fast. Juan Manuel Montiz. But if you say it in a Spanish way, you got to say it like Antonio Banderas. You say Juan Manuel Montiz. He was 23, and he was deported from the U.S. through the, though he had protection under the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program, otherwise known as DACA, D-A-C-A. He's appealing the decision in U.S. District Court, his attorney said Tuesday. But he's already back in, he got deported to Mexicali, Mexico. Yes, where he has an aunt and uncle. No, what's the big deal? That's where he's from. He came here illegally, got sent back. Well, anyway, he's a 23-year-old immigrant. And he says he was cleared to work and live in the U.S. under the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals DACA program, has been deported. He was cleared when he was deported. However, it was said that his protections ran out. Now, here's the thing. Yesterday they were calling him, I read you the story, they were calling him an undocumented worker or an undocumented immigrant. Well, here's the problem. He was documented. I mean, this kid was documented all over the place. Now, it's believed that this is the first such case under President Donald Trump to deal with the Obama-era protections that cover more than 750,000 undocumented immigrants in the U.S. There they go again. He's documented. Do you understand the difference here? Undocumented means we don't know who they are. They came in illegally, we don't know who they are. This kid is documented. He's documented via DACA. Now, the Department of Homeland Security says his protection ended 2 years ago. Mr. Trump had promised to protect these individuals from deportation, even as he pledged on campaign trail in the Oval Office to crack down on immigration. Now, there's an estimated, low estimate of 11 million undocumented immigrants that live in the USA. This kid is not one of them. He's still an illegal immigrant who's been given a waiver. In other words, he's been documented. We know where he is. We know who he is. The 11 million undocumented that are called undocumented, we don't know who they are, supposedly, which is why they're being called undocumented by the left. But this is just ridiculous. Here you have a well-documented immigrant who crossed the border when he was a child illegally. He's been given special permission and special protection for a couple of years, so we know exactly who he is, where he is, which is why they were able just to walk up to him and know who he was. I thought that was kind of a little strange myself when I was investigating the story yesterday and bringing it to you. It's just that he walked outside waiting for a ride. Outside his home, and then, Border Patrol people, ICE people, walked up to him and started asking him questions. Well, if he came to the country at 9, it is very likely that he has a nearly undetectable accent. He probably speaks very good English and has a very good Californian American accent. Because the younger you are when you learn a second language, the better you are at not having a foreign accent. It doesn't matter what. I mean, this is why in this country we should probably start teaching kids a second language at a very young age, because if they are taught properly, they will have little to no accent. Well, I mean, it'll depend on. I mean, every country has like we do. They have their regional accents. Like here in the U.S., we have a southern. We have variations of southern drawl accents, too. I mean, it's just ridiculous how many different variations there are. And, of course, we have the Northeast accent and New England accent. And even in New England, the New England accent has various accents within it. I mean, you got the Mainer, you got the Bostonian, you got the Connecticut and the Rhode Islander and the Eastern or Western Massachusetts and the Vermonter. It's ridiculous. So, yeah, you're going to have regional accents. But to have a what's known as a detectable foreigner accent, the younger you are when you start learning a language, the less that foreign accent on that language is going to be. So I'm sure that he has a very good American accent. If he started learning when he was 8 or 9 years old, when he first came across the border. So why else would they start walking up to him and start asking him questions? Now, I don't know if he speaks English or not. But if he came here when he's 9 years old, he's now 23, and he doesn't speak English, I'd be livid. And I'd say, yeah, you go back anyway. But U.S. Customs and Border Protection approached Juan Manuel Montes on or about February 18th in Calexico, California, and asked for identification. Now, Montes said he didn't have his ID because he left his wallet in his friend's car. Now, I find that very odd. You know you got to have this on you at all times when you leave your home. You got to have it. It's in your friend's car. Well, how do you leave your wallet in your friend's car? I mean, I know sometimes things like that happen. You're not supposed to. You're supposed to obey the law. When you're DACA, break the law that breaks your status. You go away. You can't break the law. You can't even so much as probably get a speeding ticket. But on Tuesday, a group of lawyers filed a complaint in a U.S. District Court in California seeking more information from U.S. Customs and Border Protection about the encounter with Montes. According to the 11-page federal complaint, Montes still does not know the legal basis for his removal. The U.S. border laws, how about that? Now, Montes' lawyer says he had previously been approved twice for deportation protection under the DACA program in 2012 under then-President Barack Obama to allow immigrants who come to the U.S. as children to temporarily live and work in the country. The Department of Homeland Security told NewsHour on Tuesday its records indicated Montes' authorization expired in 2015. On Wednesday, the department told NewsHour a more detailed search indicates Montes' DACA authorization did expire, but will expire in 2018. But that Montes had lost his DACA status when he left the United States without advance parole before he encountered the U.S. Border Patrol on February 19th. So he lost his DACA status when he left the USA. So in other words, if they know that he left the USA before they approached him, that means that they really knew who he was, where he was, what he was doing, and that he wasn't undocumented. He was most definitely documented. So in other words, he didn't follow the rules. He didn't follow the rules. He got caught and he got deported. So now we're going to want, well, he's got until 2018. No. See, in other words, what he doesn't have, this is interesting. Because, these illegal immigrants and these so-called undocumented workers and undocumented immigrants, they don't have passports. So my question is, how did he leave the United States without permission? He probably went to Mexico to visit relatives. So how did he leave the United States without permission? And my question is, without a passport or permission, how the hell did he get back in? Somebody answer me that question. Anybody ask that question? No. In this story, that question is not being asked. So my question is, how did he get back in? So the whole notion that this guy is undocumented, undocumented means we don't know who he is, where he's living, what he's doing, that kind of thing. Well, evidently this guy is well documented so that when he left the country without notifying the proper and getting the proper authorization to do so, he did so illegally. Therefore, he broke the law, he broke the rules, which means his DACA status is now revoked. He doesn't have any DACA protection, even if it does expire in 2018. It just expired before February 19th when he left the country illegally and re-entered illegally. So guess what? He went home. He'll under the Trump administration, he'll probably lose and stay in Mexicali, Mexico with auntie and uncle. Good.
You're listening to me, your lovable host, Rod, here on the Rod Eccles Show.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide. Plus, what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0 Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
If you love to smoke, then you know there's no place left in America where you can light up a butt these days. That's why Carnival is proud to offer our new Smokers Cruise. You'll board our luxury liner and be off to, who cares where you go? The point is, you'll be in international waters where you can smoke 24 hours a day for a full 2 weeks.
They let us smoke on the dance floor, at all our meals, even in the pool.
I like all the activities. Smoke-alongs, cigar races. Hey, I met a babe who smokes unfiltered Luckies. What?
The Smokers Cruise. Sign up now for regular or menthol. Hey, it's not just a vacation. It's the lung boat.
It's my friend. Could see me now.
There we go. Yes, 603-835-3226. Good morning once again. Welcome back. It is I, your lovable host, Rod, coming to you live from the rain-drenched Bunker Eye studio. Hey, folks, if you haven't checked out all the wonderful online stuff that's available to you from me, from your lovable host, me, then you should do it. RodEccles.net is a starting point. That's right, RodEccles.net. Great starting point. There's a site that's growing. Going to be adding some new stuff to it over the next couple of weeks. You're going to be happily surprised by the additions that are coming to RodEccles.net. It's good stuff. And that'll lead you into areas of social media, places like, Facebook, the Rod Eccles Show over there on Facebook. That's the page. And, of course, you got Twitter, you got Google+, you got LinkedIn, you got Twitter, you got Gab.ai, you got WeMe, all those other social media outlets. In fact, if you go to any social outlet that you want to find me, all you got to do is just type in Rod Eccles. That's how difficult I make things to find, how difficult I make it to find me. The only one that's different would be Facebook, which is actually the Rod Eccles Show. But everywhere else is just simply Rod Eccles, because I wanted to make it very difficult for people to find me. Just so you know. So you're going to want to do that, because all that stuff is, the stuff I post all over the place is, and this stuff is, constant. It's not just inane stuff that's once or twice a day and that's it. You'll never, it's posting throughout the day, various times. And it's when I find interesting stuff from other people on my own research, from the show, from the website, all that kind of good stuff. It's from everywhere. And we'll soon be adding sites that cater to video, because everybody wants video. Rod, we want to see you in person. Well, you're not going to see me all that much in video, but we're going to be adding some video channels, and you're going to love it. Yeah, no, I'm not going to. I'm not going to be standing in front of the camera. I like I'm one of those people that likes to direct. I've never directed anything in my life, folks. No, I have been in a couple of B movies and local TV commercials. Yeah, I used to fancy myself as an actor back when I was a teenager and young 20s. I want to be an actor, and then I ran into all those wonderful people that out of New York City. And if the phony people of New York City were anything like the phony people of Hollywood, I'm glad I decided I didn't want to be an actor, because I couldn't deal with those people. It was awful. It was terrible. Yeah, you go in, even when you're not in the meccas of New York City and Hollywood, the phoniness is rampant. The arrogance is rampant. And you don't even have to be in those. I mean, I remember doing a couple of auditions. And, auditions, there was an audition for an outside of New York City summer stock theater program. And I was auditioning to be a lawyer. I know. Right? So the reason why I didn't get the part, this is what I was told. The reason why I didn't get the part is because I sounded too much like a lawyer. They needed somebody with more compassion. Like, I thought this was a stage play about lawyers. So I guess in order for me to have gotten that part, I needed to not act like a lawyer. Yeah, go figure. But then then there was a movie that was actually half shot in Syracuse, New York, and half shot in Atlanta, Georgia. And at the wrap party, I was an extra and had a very, very small bit non-speaking part on camera in this movie. And I was also behind the scenes. I was the first assistant to the continuity director. And yeah, and there were a number of times while they were shooting in Syracuse, they had two first assistants. One was in Syracuse, that was me, and one was in Atlanta, which was not me. And there were numerous times when the continuity director could not be on set because they were on another set being prepared. So a continuity director basically makes sure that everything looks exactly the same from scene to scene, so you don't find anything out of place. You see all those people point out all the mistakes that are in movies because the continuity is off. Well, it was my job to make sure the continuity was not off. And one of the things that I'd never done it before, but I had such an eye to detail that the director and producer, he was so impressed that he thought he was willing to write me letters of recommendation to do that kind of work full time. And at the wrap party is when I met all these people. Some of them you recognize from New York City, the acting royalty of New York City, I guess, from stage and the small screen in New York City. Yeah, there was a couple of soap opera stars were at the wrap party. And I got to tell you, that's when I met all the wonderful people and all their fakery, and that's when I decided there's no way I could be involved with these people. Absolutely no way. Not even behind the camera. Not even as a continuity director. Absolutely not. In front or behind, I couldn't do it. Because they were just, look, at least you got to be real, right?
The Red Cross responds to nearly 66,000 disasters every year, most of them house fires. Red Cross President and CEO Gail McGovern says you need to develop an evacuation plan and practice it, especially with your children. It takes just 2 minutes for a home to be engulfed in flames.
Practice those drills. We all think our kids know what to do. They don't. We need to teach them. We have started a large campaign where we're going into vulnerable communities and helping install smoke alarms. Already 92 lives were saved, and 4 of those lives were saved by a 5-year-old girl who remembered what we taught them during these fire drills, and she got her family out. We also have a slew of free apps that people can download onto their smartphones. It's what to do in every kind of disaster you can imagine, how to prepare and how to recover.
To help support all the Red Cross does and to make a financial donation, go to redcross.org. That's redcross.org.
I'm just so happy my father had a chance to see his kids before he passed. I just want to say thank you.
When her father fell ill, the American Red Cross was able to help get Veronica's brother home from the Navy to speak to his father one last time. It's thanks to your donations that we can connect military families when they need it most. Please donate today at redcross.org.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
I considered suicide so I wouldn't put my family through all the pain.
Many of our warriors are returning home from the battlefield, only to face a new war as they struggle with devastating injuries. At Wounded Warrior Project, we understand. We're there to help.
Even though you think you're broken, you're not. It's the physical and the emotional healing that Wounded Warrior Project provides.
With a gift of just $19 a month, you can join Wounded Warrior Project. You'll help provide critically needed programs and services that rebuild lives.
Beautiful. There you go, buddy.
The ongoing needs of our wounded and their families will continue for many years to come. Now is the time to show your support. Call now or go online with your gift of just $19 a month, and we'll send you this Wounded Warrior Project blanket.
It made me feel that there's people out there that care about us.
After this event, we can finally maybe start to heal as a family and move forward.
We need your help. The families are hurting.
For many of our wounded heroes, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. That's why your gift of just $19 a month is so important. Please call or go online right now.
603-835-3226. Speaking of Hollywood and not being in Hollywood and anti-Hollywood and anti-fakery and all that kind of stuff, it's today, I guess, right? It's today or yesterday? Well, anyway, the fandom boards are all kind of lit up. It's Rip Prince. Yes, the artist formerly known, now known once again, but is now passed away, deceased Prince. This is the first anniversary of his untimely death due to the overuse of illicit drugs. And now I'm not going to. I liked a lot of his music. I didn't like it all. I liked a lot of his music, though. I really did. I thought he was a rather talented man. He was very unique. Prince was very unique. There's no doubting it. I mean, he's like Michael Jackson. He was an enigma of his time, of his era. He died too soon, by his own hand, however, just like Michael Jackson and Whitney Houston. But extreme talent and even more potential was there. Evidently, the man had, like Michael Jackson, I guess there was something. There's something like 50 songs that Michael Jackson has recorded that's never been released. I guess over the years we're probably, much like all the Elvis stuff, we'll probably see some Michael Jackson stuff being released from time to time, just like they did with Elvis. And evidently there was supposed to be a new Prince album or CD coming, but did I read that there was some sort of lawsuit pending to try to stop it? I don't know. People that are family members that now have control over his estate why the hell would you sue to stop having this music? It's going to be a hit. It's going to sell a bazillion copies, and it's only going to benefit the estate, which is, if you're in this, if part of the estate and controlling the estate is only going to benefit you. I don't know. But any case, yes, I guess it was a year ago this week anyway, that the pop star Prince passed away. Now, when he did, what was he like? He was in his 50s. He was a young man. He looked even younger than that, though. Did you see the last time he had an appearance? He looked like he was probably 30 or something. He kind of, you know who else is like that? Don Lemon of CNN. Did you know? I think Don Lemon is 51 years old. Does he look like that to you? Anybody? I mean, puts me to shame. Let me tell you. It looks like he's in his 20s. I don't know what he does for a regimen. Maybe we should ask him. I mean, genes will, good genes, good genetic makeup will only take you so far. You got to be. I don't know. Has he had facial surgery? I don't know. But no, we know Prince didn't because he didn't like to be seen out in public anyway. Yeah. So it's a year after and folks, he was part of that year. 2016 has to go down in history as the worst year for celebrities ever. I mean, how many celebrities, past and present, did we lose in 2016? When I say past and present, I mean they were probably big stars or at least mediocre stars in the past, or they were currently big stars or mediocre stars in the present. So how many did we lose? I never did count. It seemed like we were losing one every day. It wasn't that far off. I mean, it started off, somebody said it's the curse of it's the curse of the big star. When a big star takes his life, remember Robin Williams committed suicide. Somebody said it's the curse of Robin Williams, that when that happens, then people that he didn't know and didn't work with, obviously a lot of them, he didn't know or work with, also passed away in 2016. Now, we don't seem to be keeping on the same pace this year. Thank goodness. If I were, I guess it's too late. If you're already a mediocre or a big star in Hollywood, it's too late to get out and protect yourself because you'll always be known as such. But it seems to me like people in the entertainment business or what have you would want to get out because they were all dropping like flies for some reason. Maybe I know what it was. See, it's an attack on our pop culture. See, we've got enemy states around the world that don't need to attack us militarily. All they need to do is attack our pop culture, and you'll have many, many, many millions of Americans wanting to surrender and give up so they can save their pop culture. So Putin was behind this. I'm guaranteeing you that's what happened. Putin was behind all the famous and semi-famous deaths of 2016 in hopes of crashing our pop culture industry and bringing America to its knees via its pop culture. Yes, that's the way it goes. That's the way it works. Putin is diabolical. Putin has got to go. He's got to go. The communist has got to go. But anyway, so tonight, Friday, if you're in the Minneapolis, Minnesota area, I guess there are planned remembrances, and his mansion and areas of downtown Minneapolis are going to be lit up in purple. Yeah, that actually might be kind of cool to see things lit up in purple. You know who else liked purple? I don't know why I remember this. I have no idea. Probably because it was the color purple. Whose favorite color is purple? Well, Prince. But who liked purple before Prince? Donny Osmond. Yes, that was his favorite color too. Yeah. So, but we don't call him the Purple Osmond, do we? No, it's Purple Prince. But well, purple is a royal color. Right? It was very expensive back in the day to make the color purple, and only royalty could afford it. So, maybe that's why they liked purple. I'm not a big purple fan. I mean, purple's okay, I suppose. But hey, the song and the album "Purple Rain," that very good. That was classic stuff. Now I know I hate to say it's classic, but it is classic. It's old school, as they call it. If you've never heard, if you are one of those, I can't think of anybody who hasn't heard of Purple Rain. If you haven't, you're not going to be able to get it on YouTube. I don't even think you can get covers. I think Prince was very adamant when he was alive about that. That stuff he had that stuff yanked on YouTube. So I don't know where you can actually get it online. It's real. That's in this day and age, that's hard to say. That it's hard to find online without paying for it. Now I'm not sure if you can even get it on iHeartRadio. I mean, you don't hear his music being played a lot. At least I don't hear it in this area. Played a lot on various radio stations. It's not even played a lot during some of the weekend retro stations. This is the 80s or flashback 80s music hour, whatever. I hardly hear his music. I don't know why. Did he put a clamp on even that? Because I know it's very, if you find his stuff, anything of his on YouTube, it means YouTube, the people at YouTube don't know about it yet, and as soon as they do, they'll yank it. There is no Prince stuff on YouTube. Now that he's gone, it might be a little bit easier, but not gonna. So at this point, without going directly to Prince himself, I can't really tell you where to go to hear the music of the album Purple Rain, but without buying it. So, but you need to listen to it because it's really good stuff. Now, I don't even think you can. I don't even think there are very many pirated versions of the movie Purple Rain. This guy was good. I need to take lessons from him about clamping down on the internet stuff. Really, he was good at doing that. I have no idea how he accomplished that, really. It is hard to find his stuff online. It really is. But and yet everybody still knows about him. That's when you know that you're famous. When you're really, really famous, when you don't have to worry about being on the internet to be famous. That's famous, man. And I'm not saying it in a derogatory way. Prince was a very talented man. He was one of the world's biggest pop stars ever. He was up there in the league with Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, and Elvis. I mean, there are few. I don't know anybody who was bigger than the names I just told you. Really, worldwide, there's no those four are the elitist of elitism when it comes to the music industry. I mean, really. I mean, that's it. I mean, those people, those four people, all of them gone now, by the way. Those four people are what people like Justin Timberlake aspire to be. Really. Just saying. I know there are people out there that like Justin Timberlake. I don't particularly. I'm not a big Justin Timberlake fan. And for you One Direction fans, millennials out there, first of all, y'all need to grow up. And second of all, I guess Harry Styles is dropping a solo. Does that mean One Direction is all broken up? I don't even call them One Direction anymore. I call them No Direction. They're one of those boy bands that I despise because they don't have any. They all sound the same. So it's kind of hard to tell which ones are which. You know, you got No Direction, Backdoor Boys, you got Out of Sync, you got Frozen Degrees, you've got who else did I miss? Well, the ones that tried to start off this non-talented boy band stuff. New Kids in the Block. Well, now they're old kids in the block, still singing bubblegum rock in their concert. I mean, are you kidding? They're like 40s and 50s now. Donnie Wahlberg, you can see Donnie, what is Blue Bloods? Donnie Wahlberg. Can you imagine Donnie Wahlberg on the stage singing the right stuff? But this is what they're doing. They go on these. He's like a 45-year-old man now. He's starting to bald, and he's out there singing bubblegum. I'm sorry. It's a funny thought. It's a funny thought. But anyway, so all those boy bands, I've never been a fan, and most of them didn't have any talent. There were a few that had talent. You know, the Boyz II Men had talent. Yeah, they were a boy band. New Edition, even though it had Bobby Brown and all the trouble that he caused, they still had talent. And they grew up when they added Johnny Gill. Anybody remember Johnny Gill? Yeah, Rub You the Right Way. Rub you the right way. That deep baritone voice. I mean, they grew up. Although I think Ralph Tresvant somebody stole Ralph Tresvant's puberty because his voice didn't drop. Anyway, so if you're in Minneapolis this weekend, it is a Purple Celebration weekend, and I'm surprised there aren't any tributes. I don't know of any tributes being held on TV, but. Anyway, marijuana on religious grounds. Yes, I tell you the story yesterday out in Colorado of an enterprising young father who is making, money hand over fist by having a cannabis bus tour. You know how you go on. We have these different types of tours in different parts of the country. I mean, like in New England, you have the seafood tour. You have a beer tour for craft beer. Breweries, whatever, distilleries, or breweries around the area. But this guy has done something different out in Colorado because, Colorado, I guess, is the epicenter of all things legally pot. And so now you can go around to pot farm to pot farm to pot dispensary to pot dispensary, I guess, a few of them on a tour, bus tour. And you can smoke the pot on the tour. Everybody, just have a good time. And he's making a mint. He's not selling pot. He's not selling it. He's just giving freer access to it through a pot tour bus tour. So you don't even have to worry about driving. So there's nobody's going to be caught, smoking and driving, basically. You're not going to be under the influence. Well, I don't know. Maybe the bus driver is going to get a contact high with everybody's token on the bus. But You don't have to worry about it. You pays your monies. You get on the bus and you go from dispensary to dispensary to farm. And you learn all about all the wonderful different kinds of pot that there are now, and how to cook it and put it in edibles and things like that. So this goes along with that. Evidently, there is a cannabis church which is opening in Denver, Colorado. Yes, I kid you not. For the International Church of Cannabis in Denver, there are 3 reasons to celebrate this past Thursday. First, it was the opening day. The church, a more than century-old building, recently adorned with brightly colored paintings by the artists Kenny Scharf and Okuda San Miguel, welcomed the public early in the afternoon, at which time no cannabis consumption was allowed inside, however. Now, So yesterday was 4/20. So second, it was April 20th. An unofficial holiday of sorts for marijuana users. There have been disagreement as to why the number 4/20 has taken on significance in the cannabis community, but Steve Burke, the church's media relations director, did not want to worry about that. No. It was just now people can go to church. Well, there's a third reason. A challenge to the church's legality in the form of an amendment proposed in the state's House of Representatives was shut down almost as quickly as it arose on Thursday morning. So, to change the amendment that you couldn't have a pot smoking church, I guess. But all told, it was a good day for the church's membership, which ballooned to more than 200 people from around 50 this week after increased media attention. So the Cannabis Church, or the Church of the Cannabis, I wonder who are going to be their patron saints. Cheech and Chong?
Hello, America. It's me, your history. I remember a time when we thumbed our nose in a king's face, sent him packing. And when fascists and emperors talked a little bit too loud, we showed up, tore their cities to the ground, and then rebuilt them just to prove we could. We put men on the moon, we won a Cold War, and we elected fearless leaders who led fearless people. What the hell happened to you, America? Back in my day, we didn't elect a big-eared community organizer. We punched him in the kidney. Maybe it's time you came home, America. Home where you belong.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide. Plus, what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
You know, a couple of weeks ago, a long-haired young person came into our bank and said to me, I bet you won't lend me money to buy an electric guitar. Well, he was making $100 a week, and he was over 18, and I said, I bet you I will lend you money to buy an electric guitar. And I did. So what happens? The punk gets busted for possession of dangerous drugs, and we're out $350. There's one thing about kids nowadays. You don't have to give them credit.
Universal Bank. We trust you. About as far as we can throw you.
Call Rod now, 603-835-3226. Lines are open.
Welcome back. Hey, you have the speaking of staying on the cannabis trail here, U.S. News and World Report. U.S. News is reporting that 7 pot activists have received federal charges when they offered 420 joints to congressional staff yesterday. And it's they're saying that the police stole most of our cannabis, and organizers said, promising a lawsuit. Well, they didn't steal it; they confiscated it. And for the most of that stuff does get destroyed. Most of the illicit drugs, most of it does get destroyed. Now, I'm not denying, and nobody can deny that sometimes some of the stuff goes, shall we say, missing, especially when it comes to marijuana. It's hard to keep track of all the marijuana. I mean, it's not in pill form. It's in the bud and leaf form, and sometimes it's. I mean, you can by weight. The weight of marijuana can change dramatically, because if it's wet, if it's not dried out, and it's going to be heavier than when it's dry, and it's like wood. It can dry and shrink. So if somebody knows what they're doing, they can make it look like it's just been, part of the shrinkage or whatever. This is what I'm told. So, look, I don't think of this stuff. So obviously people who are smarter than I am in this area, they're the ones that tell me about, this is what you can do, man. This is what happens. This is how some of it goes missing. Look, whenever there's a law, there are going to be people who are going to think their way around the law, to get under it, over it, around it, what have you, without being caught. People are very enterprising when they have to be. But in any case, U.S. Capitol police officers unexpectedly arrested 7 marijuana activists on federal charges Thursday as they gave away free joints to Capitol Hill staffers in compliance with a local legalization law. But see, the point is, it's still a federal crime. And Washington, D.C. is a federal district. Washington, D.C. is owned by the federal government. Unlike the rest of the country, unlike every other city in the country, Washington, D.C. is actually owned by the federal government. So there's still federal laws. So the law of the land in D.C. is a federal law. And these people are they're insane. They don't know how to work within the system, let me tell you. We'll be back.
Have you ever thought to yourself, I'm a leftist elite Hollywood a-hole? If so, good news. The Rod Eccles Hollywood Community College is now open, featuring such courses as unemployment is not paid vacation. No, Americans don't want to spend $19 for an order of French fries, and the ever popular shut the hell up. Why, just listen to this big-time celebrity endorsement.
I'm not Rosie O'Donnell, and I think this school's offensive, sexist, and racist.
And I think you're a giant a-hole who needs to shut the hell up. Hey, we teach a course in that. The Rod Eccles Hollywood Community College, where being an a-hole is not a guarantee you'll be an A student.
Thousands of families affected by disasters, like the recent wildfires, urgently need support. You can help the American Red Cross provide warm meals, shelter, and hope to families when they need it most. Please donate today to Red Cross Disaster Relief to help people affected by disasters, big and small. Go to redcross.org or call 1-800-RED-CROSS today. Your support is critical. We can't do it without you.
I'm just so happy my father had a chance to see his kids before he passed. I just want to say thank you.
When her father fell ill, the American Red Cross was able to help get Veronica's brother home from the Navy to speak to his father one last time. It's thanks to your donations that we can connect military families when they need it most. Please donate today at redcross.org.
Were you born from 1945 to 1965? People born during these years are 5 times more likely to have hepatitis C. So even if you try to eat right, exercise, and take care of yourself, you could still have hepatitis C, a serious disease that's a leading cause of liver cancer. If you were born from 1945 to 65, you should get a blood test for hepatitis C. Treatments can cure this disease. Talk to your doctor about getting tested. A message from the CDC.
Think fast. In the short time it takes to listen to this message, a small flame can turn into a big fire. Several minutes more, and thick, poisonous smoke may have filled your lungs and reduced your ability to respond. Give it 5, and your entire home may be filled with flames.
Keep breathing. We got you.
Don't let your world go up in smoke. Have working smoke alarms and always stay in the kitchen when cooking at high temperatures. Learn more at usfa.fema.gov because fire is everyone's fight.
Have you mixed your pain meds, your sleep meds, your allergy meds? Call the Poison Helpline. Has your child eaten a tube of toothpaste, a chip of paint, a wild mushroom? Call the Poison Helpline. Have you been bitten by a spider, a snake, an insect? Call the Poison Helpline. Poisonings can happen at the home, on the job, or in the great outdoors. Call the Poison Helpline first for fast, free advice from medical professionals. Call 1-800-222-1222 anytime, anywhere. 1-800-222-1222. Save the number, save a life. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Premature birth is the #1 killer of babies. Those who survive often face birth defects and complications that affect them for life. For hundreds of thousands of families in the United States, this is the hardest thing they will ever have to face. And it's even harder on the baby. March of Dimes is providing education and support to families and funding life-saving research to give every baby a fighting chance. You can help. Do something today. Give them tomorrow at marchofdimes.org/tomorrow.
It's pretty amazing when you consider that 7 years ago, we didn't have the treatments we have now. We cure 80% of children with cancer. Go back 50 years, we were curing 20 to 30%. This is the miracle story of modern medicine. We understand what makes this cancer tick. And of course, without donors from around the world, this just couldn't happen. There's one thing we're focused on, and that's beating this thing.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Not on my watch, our military service members say, as they volunteer to serve. As they move out, stand firm, and take fire. So not on our watch, we say, to the severely ill or injured veterans who can't get the care they deserve to live full and independent lives, even when there's no government funding or a nursing home seems like the only option. We won't leave one warrior behind. Not on our watch. Join us at findwwp.org.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
America's wounded warriors are coming home. After serving on foreign shores, these brave men and women are returning to their families and communities. Many have wounds you can see, and many have wounds you can't see, like post-traumatic stress disorder. Now that these warriors are back home, they are ready to enter the civilian workforce. To help, Wounded Warrior Project has developed the Warriors to Work program, a career counseling service that helps warriors translate their military experience to the civilian workplace. These extraordinary men and women bring proven world-class job skills and a unique perspective on teamwork to the job. And to ensure the right warrior finds the right job, Wounded Warrior Project works with employers to find just the right match. When you hire a wounded warrior, you hire an intelligent, talented, and committed new employee. Contact Wounded Warrior Project at findwwp.org. Welcome home the brave.
You want to know what time it is? It's time to bring the rain.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
And now, live from the bunkerized studio located somewhere within the great granite state of New Hampshire, is Rod Eccles.
Yes, indeed. Welcome. Here it is on April number 21 in the year of our Lord 2017, meaning it is a Friday.
Welcome to Freedom Friday.
Yes, indeed. We are here this Friday morning, as we are every Friday morning, taking the lighter side of pop culture, science, politics, and all that kind of good stuff as we slide on into the weekend. The call-in number where you can join in the fun and discuss just about anything on your mind is 603-835-3226. Again, that's 603-835-3226. The studio is a pot-free zone. If you don't have a cigar, then you can't smoke it. And don't tell me that. Don't tell me a big fatty is like a cigar. It's not a cigar. That's not what do they call them? Well, I mean, I know. Well, I mean, there's the doobies like the Doobie Brothers, and I know people got. If you need a roach clip to smoke it, then you can't smoke it here. It's got to be a full-fledged cigar. Cubanos are preferred. Do they have Cuban marijuana too? I'm sure they do. Do the Cubans toke, or what happens? Do they light? They obviously don't light up in Cuba. We're always. They do in Jamaica, right? Isn't it just? I've never been in Jamaica, so I don't know how mellow the Jamaican island is. I've never been there. But it's illegal in Jamaica too, right? How can a culture like Jamaica be so wrapped up in the marijuana lifestyle and it be illegal? I don't know. I've never been in Jamaica. I don't particularly. I'm blunt. I'm not particularly interested in going to Jamaica, to tell you the truth. Hey, Rod, man, it's where your people are, man. No, they're not. Jamaicans are not my people. Just saying. Let me put that out there. They're not my people. I am I wouldn't say I'm high-strung, but I'm too much of a go-getter to be that laid back. Although I will admit, when I did go on that cruise with my mom back in, I'll never forget this. It was a great time with my mother. Yeah, absolutely. That was the best part, is spending all that time with my mom. Just one-on-one with her. It was fantastic. I'd do it again in a heartbeat. But I was never bored. And I enjoyed just for a week doing basically nothing. I have never done that before. So to me, I think, I guess that's what a vacation is, right? Well, if that's what it, I mean, I came back with so much energy, recharge, ready to go. It was crazy. I mean, if that's what I want to do it again. Really, because I always put off going on, especially going on a cruise, because you're just going to sit on a boat all day long. I mean, how much can you do on a boat? It's going to be boring. I'm going to be wishing that I had TV and or computer access. It was just not boring at all. I even brought my iPad along in my computer. And I maybe spent all of 10 minutes on both of them combined while I was there. Because you could get internet access on the ship. I didn't even bother. I didn't even check my email for a whole week. It was wonderful. I'm actually kind of missing it now. Could I live on a cruise ship? Well, if I got to do nothing, I guess after a while it would get kind of boring. But for a week at a time, it's great. Absolutely great. But no, there were no blunts or doobies on board. But there were you had to go offshore to get the Cubanos, because obviously the boat comes into American shores, so they can't have. It's illegal to have Cubanos. But you can have the Cubano on the boat. You can go and buy. Well, I guess the actual law is that Americans aren't supposed to have in their possession Cubans. I think that's what the law is. I'm not. Well. Somehow people brought Cubans back. Well, you can't bring a Cuban back into the U.S., at least not knowingly bring it back. I mean, they catch you, they confiscate it, I guess. But Cuban cigars. How did you see anything from Cuba? It's stupid. Except for Cuban rum. Because you can get, look, on St. Martin, the liquor there was so cheap. I didn't know this. So I didn't have enough room in my baggage to bring more booze. But I saw people coming back to the ship. Now they don't let you bring the booze on board. They don't confiscate. What they do is they put it in their cargo hold for you, because they want you to buy liquor on the ship. Because liquor on the ship, I got to admit, is not cheap. They want you to buy, not bring back the cheap liquor from shore. So they'll put it, and then when you get ready, when it's the end of your trip and you disembark, they will bring your package that they have kept for you. And then it's your responsibility to get it through customs and everything. And I didn't know that the good stuff was going to be that cheap. I didn't know. So I didn't make room for, I only had enough room, because I like to travel light and small. I don't like to have a lot of bags. So I only had enough room in my bags to put one bottle. I may have been able to get two in there, but that would have been the max. So I was a little upset that I didn't. Next time I know. Next time, I want to find out what the limit is, how many bottles I can bring back legally into the U.S., and I'm going to max it out, man. Let me tell you. You should, whatever, if you go on a Caribbean cruise anywhere, and yeah, I'm just telling you. Now, I don't know. Well, I don't know the difference of going to Puerto Rico and buying it in Puerto Rico and then getting on a cruise ship and then bringing it back to. Technically, you're not bringing it from outside the states because you bought it in Puerto Rico. But I don't know way off. I got somebody who knows about the cigar thing. I didn't know what the laws were regarding. Now, I thought the laws were that you couldn't even, if you're an American citizen, even abroad, you couldn't buy, because that's what I used to go to Canada when I was younger, and I was told in Canada by Canadians, Americans aren't supposed to even buy these here. Oh, okay. That's what, I don't know if that's true or not. I never bothered to find out. But in any case, I'm being told we're allowed to own or have $100 worth of cigars and $400 worth of total items per trip to Cuba. So there you go. That seems to be, there's from a person, Agent 0010, who would know a lot more about this than I would. See, you come to this show and you get some travel advice here too. Travel legal advice. I'll admit it, when I don't know something, I didn't know. I did not, and I didn't bother to find out. I don't know what the what the limits are and bringing alcohol from outside of the country is, with the importation of self-importation of liquor. Evidently, I was safe with one bottle. I know people bought more than one. I saw them getting their tags. There are people that had, half a case, case being 12, half a case of stuff. Hopefully they had room in their luggage. Now, I didn't see anybody buying a whole hell of a lot of Cuban cigars. The interesting thing there is in St. Martin, when you go into at least this cigar shop, you're not allowed to touch the cigars. You have to wait for the shopkeeper. Now, the problem with that is that all the time, you know who the newbies are who've never had, because they take up the shopkeeper's time like you would not believe, because they got all kinds of questions. They don't know what the hell they're doing or what they're looking for. They think they're being cool, but they've always been told, hey, try a Cuban cigar, man. Whenever you get a chance, try it. And so they go into the shop. I was third in line. It took me 30 minutes to get my 2 Cubanos. I knew what I wanted. Well, because I'm a cigar aficionado, I could tell the difference between what is what, and knowing the American versions of some of the cigars that I smoke here in America, they're actually they're split. There are non-Cuban versions and there are Cuban versions. So I went with the Cuban versions, and they were wonderful. But these 2 newbies before me, they didn't know what they were doing. They just thought it'd be, because their friends told them that they had to try Cuban cigars, and they went on a cruise, and there they were. And you weren't allowed to touch the cigar. So even if you knew what you were doing, you had to wait for it took me 30 minutes just to get my 2 cigars. I hate that. I like to bring people into the fold so they learn, but you do not take the time or try to learn if you're a newbie in a place where it's not meant for newbies. It doesn't matter what, it's not just cigars. It doesn't matter what it is. I don't care what it is. Just don't be a noob in a place where it's not meant for noobs. Have more consideration for your fellow non-noob than that. Just saying. But anyway, I don't know how the hell I got off on that tangent, but it's Friday, so we're allowed. So anyway, the people down in Washington D.C. they got arrested for pushing marijuana on our congressional staffers, as if our government officials and their staff need to be hot. Maybe that explains some of the laws and regulations. That has to explain it. These people are on something when they come up with this stuff. And I mean, that has to be the only explanation. Really. Some of these people are just, I mean, they're out there. Some of these regulations are totally out there. You wonder where they get this stuff from. I don't know. In Star News, I am hearing it came across I have no idea why this came across my newsfeed this morning, because I'm an anti-boy band type of person. I'm an anti-boy band type of guy. I don't care about boy bands. But it came across my newsfeed, and it came across which is how I know that Harry Styles has a new album that's either dropped or is about to drop, solo album. So I don't know what's happening to No Direction. But along with that album drop of solo album of Harry Styles, there is going to be a Rolling Stones biopic to start filming soon, and Harry Styles is reported to be playing the role of Mick Jagger. Okay. I've never been a Rolling Stones fan either. But there are a lot of people that like the Rolling Stones, and that's fine. You can like the Rolling. I never was a huge Rolling Stones fan. I mean, there were a couple of songs here and there that I thought were okay, but other than that, I was just never a big Stones fan, so I could care less if there's going to be a biopic. But evidently, Harry Styles is playing Mick Jagger. The question is, who are they going to find that is going to be able to play Keith Richards? Now, who are the other band members? I don't know. They're irrelevant, right? Are they all still alive, by the way? I don't keep track of the Stones, so I don't know. But if you're a Stones fan, I guess in about a year or two you're going to have a Stones. But is it going to be released in theaters or is it going to be on BBC TV? I have no idea. I didn't read that deep into the story. But you can go ahead and find it if you want. Harry Styles is playing Mick Jagger, and if you're a boy band aficionado, he's got a new album, but it's not part of his boy band, so he's a solo. Isn't there another one that went solo that was part of that group, too? They're breaking up, I guess, right?
You're listening to the Rod Eccles Show, the coolest, most politically incorrect, conservative black man on the planet.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide. Plus, what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
Hi, Gordon. What you been up to?
Big things, Fred. I'm a full-time student at bartending college.
Wow. I never had time for a formal education.
Well, I decided to make time, but it's not easy. Bartending college is a 4-week course.
Gee, how far along are you?
Well, let's see. This is Tuesday, the 3rd week. Hey, I'm a junior, and I'm late for a daiquiri lecture. Why don't you join me?
Why not?
Bartending college.
You've already spent enough time on the other side of the bar to qualify for enrollment.
Bartending college.
We'll teach you everything you need to know. You'll get a starter set of bartenders' jokes like...
So I says to the guy, you can stay, but the cow's gotta go.
Bartending college.
You'll learn how to roll drunks, water the liquor, and skim the cash register. And remember, as the bartender, you drink for free.
Last call.
For integrity.
Welcome back, folks. 603-835-3226 is the number to call should you wish to join me here live here on this Freedom Friday edition of the Rod Eccles Show. Now on to some slightly weightier matters. It appears that it is now no longer a secret that Steve Bannon is not a fan of Megyn Kelly. Yes, the White House advisor, the Oval Office advisor of Stephen Bannon. Now, gosh, got to tell you, Steve Bannon he's a interesting. From what I understand, how Steve Bannon looks. That's his personality. He's kind of this disheveled, gruff. He looks like he'd be a grumpy person. He looks like he has a battle with a bottle of scotch every night. I don't know if he does or doesn't. I'm just saying to me that's what he looks like. And I'm not saying he doesn't know his job, but yeah, he kind of reminds you of the old the old reporter Back in the day when they used to wear hats and coats, detective coats, and they were reporters, and they hid in the shadows, and they got dossiers and file folders and all that kind of stuff, and they smoked cigarettes and drank scotch. The old style reporters, like in the 40s and 50s and such, and in the 30s, those types of that's what Bannon reminds me of. And he just, I just assume that if I were to ever be invited to Steve Bannon's house, it would be a total wreck, a mess. That he's not a very neat guy because he looks very frumpy whenever he dresses. Just him. There's nothing wrong with it. He's obviously very good at what he does. I'm just saying he matches what I believe to be his personality type. And from what I understand, that is the way he looks is his personality type. But he doesn't seem to like Megyn Kelly. I would be highly surprised and amazed if Steve Bannon was a neatnik in his domicile. I would be, really. He calls her the she-devil. And he warns that she will turn on you. Now, Steve Bannon reveals he warned Roger Ailes about Megyn Kelly and told ex-Fox News CEO that his star would betray him. Now, he's revealing just how little he cares for Megyn Kelly by going on the record in a new interview to detail how he warned Roger Ailes about the then Star News anchor. Bannon states in his interview that he began to have issues with Ailes and Fox News after the first Republican primary debate back in August of 2015, feeling that Kelly was unfairly targeting Trump with her questions. He goes on to say that he decided at that time to try and talk things out with Ailes and warned him about Kelly by stating she's the devil and she will turn on you. And there are a lot of people that were wondering where the hell Megyn Kelly was going in what she was doing, why she didn't like Trump. Well, I mean, she didn't. She did, and it had nothing to do with the comments that he made about the locker room conversation on a private bus that he had with one other male individual. He ended up getting fired too over that. And that's just ridiculous. That's just how stupid it was. But that had nothing to do with Megyn Kelly's dislike for Trump. Megyn Kelly was one of these now she was more conservative leaning than most of the brash lamestream media out there. But make no mistake about it, there were plenty of people on the right, too, that were all about Trump being an outsider. Megyn Kelly didn't like the fact that Trump was an outsider. She didn't like it. She didn't like it that he was a reality show superstar. And that she didn't like it that, her, like everybody else, had to pay their dues in the field that they were in. And all those politicians up there on the stages, they all paid their dues. They went through the battles of trying to be voted into various offices, from state offices to the Senate or the House or the governorship. And here's this brash guy, never been in politics before in his life, never ran for any public before in his life, and he's this idiot, bombastic type of blowhard that's a superstar in the reality TV series realm, and he just burst onto the scene and everybody likes him all of a sudden. That just can't happen. That cannot be allowed. I mean, Megyn Kelly didn't like Donald Trump from the start. Just because that came out about him with that conversation was just frosting on the cake for her, and Steve Bannon was right. She was a she-devil. She turned out to be a she-devil. Sorry, but she did. Right now, Megyn Kelly did a lot of things that the Democrats are doing right now. She overplayed her hand and she lost. Plain and simple. Just like you can say it, well, it's just because he's a woman. Well, no, Bill O'Reilly's in the same boat. Bill O'Reilly overplayed his hand too, and he lost. Bill O'Reilly thought he was untouchable because his ratings were so high and he was so popular. These people think that they're untouchable. They think that they can overplay their hands. And it's amazing how we see all these so-called popular news anchors overplay their hands getting busted. I mean, it's a good thing because they can't pretend to be non-biased when they're extremely biased one way or the other. And they can't make up stuff and lie about stuff and exaggerate stuff. You know, I mean, Brian Williams, anybody? They need to be brought down. You're not a if you're a news anchor, you're not a celebrity. You're supposed to be bringing us the news, and that's it, not your personality. Sorry. Call Rod now, 666-603-835-3226.
The Red Cross responds to nearly 66,000 disasters every year, most of them house fires. Red Cross President and CEO Gail McGovern says you need to develop an evacuation plan and practice it, especially with your children. It takes just 2 minutes for a home to be engulfed in flames.
Practice those drills. We all think our kids know what to do. They don't. We need to teach them. We have started a large campaign where we're going into vulnerable communities and helping install smoke alarms. Already 92 lives were saved, and 4 of those lives were saved by a 5-year-old girl who remembered what we taught them during these fire drills, and she got her family out. We also have a slew of free apps that people can download onto their smartphones. It's what to do in every kind of disaster you can imagine, how to prepare and how to recover.
To help support all the Red Cross does and to make a financial donation, go to redcross.org. That's redcross.org.
I'm just so happy my father had a chance to see his kids before he passed. I just want to say thank you.
When her father fell ill, the American Red Cross was able to help get Veronica's brother home from the Navy to speak to his father one last time. It's thanks to your donations that we can connect military families when they need it most. Please donate today at redcross.org.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzzed driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzzed driving, because buzzed driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
I considered suicide so I wouldn't put my family through all the pain.
Many of our warriors are returning home from the battlefield, only to face a new war as they struggle with devastating injuries. At Wounded Warrior Project, we understand. We're there to help.
Even though you think you're broken, you're not. It's the physical and the emotional healing that Wounded Warrior Project provides.
With a gift of just $19 a month, you can join Wounded Warrior Project. You'll help provide critically needed programs and services that rebuild lives.
Beautiful. There you go, buddy.
The ongoing needs of our wounded and their families will continue for many years to come. Now is the time to show your support. Call now or go online with your gift of just $19 a month, and we'll send you this Wounded Warrior Project blanket.
It made me feel that there's people out there that care about us.
After this event, we can finally maybe start to heal as a family and move forward.
We need your help. The families are hurting.
For many of our wounded heroes, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. That's why your gift of just $19 a month is so important. Please, call or go online right now.
I'm not Rod Eccles, and I approve this message.
603-835-3226 is the call-in number should you wish to join me here live here on the Rod Eccles Show. Hey, remember the young man that I told you about in a Detroit community, Detroit, Michigan community, suburb, city of Roseville. I have relatives that actually live there. He was given a fine for warming up his car in his own driveway, even though he was not in the car and he was in the house. And it is called unattended motor vehicle, and the state of New Hampshire evidently has the same unattended motor vehicle law. Although I think the fine's it's like $125, $150 for the fine here too. It's a dumb law. And let me tell you why. Here is what the law is intended to do. The law is, you have the cops that say, and I hope there are police officers that are listening because they need to stop enforcing this. Well, actually, they can't stop enforcing it because they can't choose what laws to enforce and not enforce. But the law needs to be taken off the books everywhere because it is a law simply meant to abscond with your cash, wrapped in a veil of we're trying to protect you from yourself. Yes, the reasoning behind unattended motor vehicle laws isn't what you would normally think would be environmental reasons. Well, you can't leave a car running because, it's going to kill the... No. The reason that they're saying is we're protecting you from having your car stolen. Well, you know what? That's my business. It's my property. You're not keeping my car from being... If somebody wants to steal my car, they're going to steal it. And it isn't going to matter if I leave it running in my driveway to get warmed up or not. I mean, hell, you go to any 7-Eleven in the wintertime, especially when it's freezing out. Everybody runs into 7-Eleven at night. They leave their cars running. It is rare that anybody has their car stolen out of a 7-Eleven parking lot when they're running in getting coffee or a Slurpee. I'm saying, look at the statistics. That's a lie that they're telling you that, well, we're protecting you. We're protecting you from yourself. We don't need the government to protect us from ourselves. We got too many damn laws that proclaim to protect us from ourselves. The reality of it is there nothing more than income generating mechanisms to steal money out of your wallet and pocketbook. I mean, how many times are you told, well, it's only a $25 or $50 fine if you don't wear your seatbelt, and it's a secondary offense. So you got to get pulled over first. And then wait for it. And then you had some states that decided, well, you know what? We're going to jack the fine up to as much as $100 or $150. Isn't there a state where not wearing your seatbelt is a $200 fine? Not to mention, in some states, they also moved to make it a primary offense. So if you've been obeying the laws, but the cop kind of peeks in your car, notices you didn't have your seatbelt on, they can pull you over. Now, I don't know how the hell they're going to be able to tell that, but hell, just gives them another reason to pull you over, to give you a ticket. The police departments are becoming revenuers. Revenue generation sources for the municipality that they're serving. And look, I get some cops that even say this. I have some police officers that are friends, and they say, that they have quotas. In certain areas, there are quotas. Well, what's a quota for? Is it to keep the public safe? No, it's to generate income for the municipality. In other words, it's a tax without a tax. It's a tax without going through the tax system. Hey, officers, be careful out there. But this week we got a quota to get 100 people tagged for unattended motor vehicles, so be on the watch, okay? I mean, this is what they do. Now, most officers don't like it, but you know what? Politics is even involved in policing. And that if a police officer wants to grow in the ranks, become a sergeant or a lieutenant or a detective, they got to follow the rules, basically, the unwritten rules. They got to play the game. They got to play ball. So it's not any different from any corporate job in America either. I know some people are saying that don't like the cops. They're probably saying, see, Rod, look, they're out for themselves. Well, you know what? It's no different from a corporate job. In corporate, if you want to rise up the ranks in corporate America, you got to kiss ass there too. I've seen it. It's disgusting. I don't play office politics. I didn't play well with others, by the way, in corporations. Yeah, that's probably what got me fired a couple of times, because I didn't play well with others. I never did. I didn't play those games. But I can tell you the people that did play those games, they rose in the ranks pretty damn fast, even if they were highly unqualified for the jobs that they were getting. And it just pissed off the rest of us who didn't play those stupid games, that did work our asses off. But it's the same in government, too. It doesn't matter if it's the fire department, if it's the police department, if it's just if it's the DMV. It's the same damn thing all over. People are people. So they're going to go out there. Well, they're thinking, well, I don't want to have to do this. And the partner says, well, dude, you're up for sergeant next month. You better make sure you hit your quota, or that's going to be one reason that's going to disqualify you. Look, this is reality. This is reality. Don't blame the street officer. He's just trying to make a living. Honestly, he's just trying to do his job. You can't blame the beat cop for a lot of this stuff. There are a lot of beat cops that would probably like to, especially on a warm summer day, they'd like to be out there on the bikes or walking the beat. But they don't determine that. Excuse me. They're told, get in your damn car, roll up the windows, and drive around town for 8 hours. A lot of cops. Look, this is why some of these cops that you see on YouTube and other places that get out of their patrol car, especially with kids, and they play hopscotch or basketball or pass a football around. Did you know that some of them actually get reprimanded? One of them got fired for doing that. Remember the story last year? What was the cop's name? Last year or a year and a half ago. They can get severely reprimanded for that. Did you know that? God forbid a police interact with the community in a positive manner to show that they're human beings like they are, and they're not out there to screw everybody. You show them that side of you, and you get punished. Well, obviously, the cops on the beat, they want to be able to interact more positively with the only way they can do that, interact positively with their community, is if it's some sort of higher up sponsored type of program. People get pulled over for doing something right. How lame is that? Well, I mean, the beat cop likes it because they're not actually, pulling somebody over to give them to interact with a driver negatively, but they also claim how lame it is. Because they don't need to do it that way if they were just allowed to interact on a regular basis. Half the time, in these communities where they do that sort of thing, the police say they have to, the beat cops say they have to do it because they're not allowed really to get out of their cruiser to toss the football around with the kids in the street. I mean, that's insanity. People talk about building a wall between those who wear blue and those of us who don't. Let me tell you who's building the wall. It isn't the beat cop. They're strictly following orders in order to do their job and keep their job. It's coming from the higher-ups, who are a bunch of politicians. Your politicians are forcing this wall, this wedge between you and police departments. I'm telling you right now. Now, it has nothing to do with good cop, bad cop either. Nothing to do with it. And it's insanity that there's a new viral video out there and I bring this up because there's a new viral video out there of some police sergeant. He gets out of his SUV cruiser, and there's a little girl. He's playing hopscotch. Now the guy is slightly, he's middle-aged, slightly overweight, middle-aged spread, I guess is what they call it. And with all of his police gear on, and he's playing hopscotch with a little girl. It was the cutest thing. It really, big burly, cop probably on the beat for 15 or 20 years, police sergeant, all his police gear on. He's playing hopscotch with and the little girl is just having it. She's eating it up, man. She's just loving it. Yay! It's a beautiful, but they're not allowed to do that kind of thing on a regular basis. Trust me. If you live in a municipality, not some small podunk town, backwater town somewhere, your police are really not allowed to interact with you on a positive basis like that. They get reprimanded. And in rare cases, yes, rare cases, but in some cases they even get fired. Do you think your beat cop, who is only really trying to do his job, make a living, maybe make it to sergeant or lieutenant so he can pad his pension, is really going to risk all of that just to get out and play hopscotch with you? Or throw the football? Most of them are not going to risk it. Sorry, they're not. Don't blame them either. I don't blame them at all. But it's coming from the top, not from the street. So this kid in Detroit, his name is Taylor Trupiano, Trupiano, in Roseville, Detroit, was fined after leaving his car running in his driveway one cold winter morning. Yes. The fine was $125 for warming up his car outside his own home, utilizing the term unattended motor vehicle. He decided to appeal the ticket. I predicted that he was going to, for naught. He was doing it for naught. He was going to lose. And thus, here comes the story out of Daily Mail. Here's a Detroit, Michigan story being told to us, follow-up, from Daily Mail, a United Kingdom, British publication here. A Michigan man who was fined $125 for leaving his car running to warm up in freezing temperatures has lost his appeal against the fine. Taylor Trupiano from the Detroit suburb of Roseville, Michigan, admitted leaving his vehicle running on the driveway of his home while he went inside for 7 or 8 minutes back in January, which is against the law in Michigan. Now, Trupiano appealed the fine on the basis that the law shouldn't apply to vehicles parked in driveways, but Judge Marco Santina decided otherwise. Yes. Now, Trupiano's a young man. He's a, I guess he works at Best Buy, right? Yeah. So it's not like he had $125 extra anyway. So upholding the fine, Judge Santina said the rule is in the public interest. Trupiano's case drew attention after he posted an image of the fine on Facebook, and it was shared almost 15,000 times on Facebook. Now, while he waited for the vehicle to warm up, he claims he went back inside for a few minutes before emerging to find the fine on his windshield after the officer had come and gone. Now, Trupiano posted the image of the fine online along with the caption, "Let's all take a moment to thank Officer Dipshit," basically what he said, Kay Curie, for wasting the taxpayers' money and giving me a ticket for warming up my car in my own damn driveway. Now, he's not wasting the taxpayer money. He's making the taxpayer money. Well, not the taxpayer, but the municipality. So he's a DJ and Best Buy salesman. That's where I got the story from him being Best Buy DJ, huh? Now, he added, "I was furious when I saw it. Every person warms up the car. We live in Michigan, for crying out loud." Now, that's true. But local police say the rule is there to protect drivers because dozens of cars are stolen each winter by opportunistic thieves. See, they're there. It's just, the fine is to protect yourself, you from you. That's what the law is there for. Because, you've got opportunistic thieves out there. Well, you know what? How about you're not allowed to leave anything on your lawn unattended? Yeah, because somebody could steal it. Why is it just the car? There are so many things that they could say, well, we're going to make this law because it's going to protect you from you. Why do they only pick some things? Well, because there's some things that they're picking, not because they're stolen more often, but because, why? Because it's more opportunity to abscond with your money. Is it not true that bicycles are stolen more often than cars? Yes. You leave your bike on the lawn and get stolen. Why not drive around the city and give everybody a $100 ticket for leaving their bike on the lawn unattended? If your bike gets stolen, it rarely gets found. It's gone. If your car gets stolen, there's a very good chance, especially nowadays, that it's going to get found. It probably is going to be chopped up, but there's a very good chance it's going to be found and the criminals apprehended. Now, I know there's a lot of cars stolen. A lot of people aren't. The one thing about car thieves is that they're repeat offenders. So eventually most of them get caught. Because they push it one too many thieveries. But a bicycle almost never, once it's stolen, almost never gets found and returned to its rightful owner. So why not, I shouldn't say it because now somebody's going to probably hear the program and say, you know what? Rod is right. Man, we should have laws against people leaving, kids and people leaving their bikes in their lawns because bikes get stolen all the time, man, and they never get found. So it's just somebody else. We're going to just have to protect the people against themselves against having their bike stolen. So there's going to be a fine. Going to be a fine. Going to be leaving an unattended bicycle. No, not legal.
July is National Baked Bean Month. Excuse me. Yes, a month in which we pay tribute to one of America's favorite, most healthful, and nutritious foods. I'm terribly sorry. As I was saying, good Lord, this is terribly embarrassing. I'm so... Whoa, doggy! I guess I'd better wrap this up quick. Basically, Jesus, whoa! Oh, God! Oh, my God!
Baked beans. They're nature's way of saying, for God's sake, open a window. Sorry.
Give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Sign him up for the Box of Bait Club and he'll never be hungry again. The Box of Bait Club is a brand new dream come true for every fisherman. Something new and different in your tackle box every month. Every month, another excuse to get outside and do what you love. Don't let this one get away. The Box of Bait Club is currently accepting a limited number of pre-orders with subscriptions starting at $39.95 per month. Find out more now. Log on to boxofbaitclub.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide. Plus, what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
So most of the Patriots were the Super Bowl champs were at the White House yesterday. Now, for all the people that say that Tom Brady is a huge Trump fan, he wasn't there. He passed on it. Claiming family obligations. Everybody knows that Tom Brady's mother is ill. She's battling cancer, right? If I'm not mistaken. Some form of cancer. So understandable. You could say, well, that's a good excuse. Go be with your mommy, Tommy. That's fine. You can do that. But what some people are speculating because his wife Gisele Bündchen, evidently she had an anti-Trump tweet before Tom Brady bowed out of going to the White House with the rest of his team in celebration of their Super Bowl win. And so it's looking like Gisele Bündchen may have been behind Tom Brady's decision to bail on the New England Patriots White House celebration. Just hours before the White House ceremony began Wednesday, Gisele promoted an anti-Trump protest called the People's Climate March, saying on April 29th, in Washington, D.C., March for Climate, Jobs, and Justice to change everything we need. These people... Now, here's a woman... Now, where is she? She's from Argentina, right? She's German. Now, the reason why I bring this up... Now, pay attention to this really quick. I'm going to go over this really quick. Don't have a lot of time here. There is a lot of German influence in South America, believe it or not, and there are people scientists and historians that are looking for the connection between the Germans that are in South America currently and their families during World War II, how they got there, why they got there. They're part of the Nazi regime, and there is evidence that a lot of that stuff is true, including there is evidence that maybe Hitler did not die in that bunker, but he did escape to South America. There's all kinds of structures and mysterious structures and even a couple of bases down there that you still can't get onto that the Germans built. And there's a large enclave in a couple of countries in Peru and Argentina that have large enclaves of German immigrants. Well, they got there during World War II and just after. She's a member of this cabal, evidently. And now, if you remember back during the Olympic Games, what did she do? She jet-setted herself from California back to her home country during the Summer Games so she could do what? Have the world's longest runway walk? That takes a lot of talent, I'm telling you. Really. And she's like Leonardo. She did date Leonardo DiCaprio before she hooked up with Tom Brady. Maybe this is why Leo is such a big climate nut job. Flying around talking about global warming in his private jet. I mean, you've never seen such hypocritical garbage in your entire life. She's no different. But let me tell you something. You got all these wonderful, big, tough guys saying, well, if my wife told me to do this or told me, I'd tell her to go screw because I'm the man. The man is the head of the household. But as somebody always told me, some very wise men, they've always said, sure, the man is the head of the household, and the man can put down his foot, and the man can say this, and the man can say that. And the woman, she acts like the little helpless woman, and the only thing that she can do for whatever reason is, simply withhold sex from her man, which doesn't often work anyway, because then the man just goes and cheats. And the woman gets upset, and she goes and revenge cheats. So that doesn't work. So they always think that there's a poor little woman that has no power whatsoever. And the man just sits there and lords, according to the liberals, he just lords over the little itty-bitty lesser, woman. Well, that is not true in most relationships. When it comes to men and women relationships, especially those who are boyfriend, girlfriend, or married, that's not the way it works. The man says, well, it says I'm the man, and the woman just looks up at him and says, well, I'm the woman. And the man just says, okay, you're right, dear, because the man might be the head of the household, but as a wise man once told me, the woman is something even stronger. She's the neck that turns the head.
The following program is recommended for mature individuals and may contain material unsuitable for morons, cretins, and dishwipes. If you are a moron or a member of the PTL Club, please turn off your radio, because we don't need any more stupid, narrow-minded, pencil-neck geeks who wouldn't know the First Amendment if it came up and bit them on the butt. Thank you.
When I found The Red Cross responds to nearly 66,000 disasters every year, most of them house fires. Red Cross President and CEO Gail McGovern says you need to develop an evacuation plan and practice it, especially with your children. It takes just 2 minutes for a home to be engulfed in flames.
Practice those drills. We all think our kids know what to do. They don't. We need to teach them. We have started a large campaign where we're going into vulnerable communities and helping install smoke alarms. Already 92 lives were saved, and 4 of those lives were saved by a 5-year-old girl who remembered what we taught them during these fire drills, and she got her family out. We also have a slew of free apps that people can download onto their smartphones. It's what to do in every kind of disaster you can imagine, how to prepare and how to recover.
To help support all the Red Cross does and to make a financial donation, go to redcross.org. That's redcross.org.
See that cute little dog in the pet store window? Chances are it came from a puppy mill. A breeding facility that forces caged, neglected, and often sick dogs to churn out puppy after puppy to be sold for profit. Meanwhile, millions of wonderful, healthy pets end up in animal shelters. This leads to the killing of more than 9,000 by the end of today. But with one simple choice, you can help. Just by deciding to adopt instead of purchase your next pet. Animal shelters are full of amazing pets looking for a home. When you adopt your new best friend, not only are you saving a life, you're taking a stand against puppy mills. When your friends see the smart choice and impact you've made, they adopt their next pet and share with 5 of their friends, who share with 5 more. Before long, thousands get involved. Pet stores stop selling dogs from puppy mills, and even more lives are saved. And with your help, we can save them all. Visit bestfriends.org/puppymills to learn more.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
The human voice. It can be sweet as music, powerful as thunder,
and so, my fellow Americans,
cheerful as laughter. But for millions of people, it can also be a sign of COPD. This serious lung disease can make it so hard to breathe, you often can't catch a breath or finish a sentence, let alone carry a tune. And many who have COPD don't even know it. That's where your voice comes in. If you think you or a loved one have symptoms, talk with a healthcare provider. Early diagnosis can mean better treatments and quality of life. Join us in raising our voices for the millions with COPD who can't. Learn more Breathe better at NIH.gov.
As a mother, you don't want to have to worry about this bill is coming, but then she needs this chemo. That's a decision you shouldn't have to make.
It's a huge burden lifted financially, and so it allows you to give singular focus to your child. I've never known a hospital that takes care of their patients so thoroughly.
That was the first thing I was like, how are we going to do this? When they told us that we didn't have to pay a single bill, I was like, wow. They pretty much have saved us.
It's like the world has been lifted off of your shoulders, and now your focus is supporting this child.
There is not another hospital like St. Jude. The patient care is unmatchable. It saved my life. It saved my daughter's life. It saved our family.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. We leave no warrior behind. Wounded Warrior Project is a non-profit organization created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war. Whether those scars are physical or mental, we're here to make sure that they heal. And whether it's helping those with post-traumatic stress disorder live a normal life again, or giving much-needed support to injured warriors in veterans' hospitals. Because no one deserves our help more than the men and women who risk their lives to keep us safe. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
You want to know what time it is? It's time to bring the rain.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
And now, live from the bunkerized studio located somewhere within the great granite state of New Hampshire, it's Rod Eccles.
Welcome to Freedom Friday.
Yes, indeed, it is a Friday morning here on the Rod Eccles Show. Welcome back to hour number 3 here on this April number 21 in the year of our Lord 2017. Glad that you made it through the 420 Smoke-a-thon day yesterday. Yes, here on Fridays, we like to take the show a little bit lighter, give us a lot more lighter subjects while still tackling some of the tougher stuff. But we like to at least think that we're in charge and capable of enjoying our freedom over the weekend. So for those of you who have the weekend off, I salute and enjoy your freedom. Hopefully we're starting to gain some of it back. But the call-in number for you to participate is 603-835-3226. And we talk just about anything on when we talk about just about anything during the week, but Fridays is when we let our hair down, so to speak, and really just open our minds to the possibilities of the wonders of the universe. Yeah, no, not really. We can talk about inane stuff on a Friday too. So just saying. Hey, by the way, did you know that North Korea, the NORC's missile program that they have going there, it is estimated that if this thing actually, if they can get it to work, what the range is of one of their ballistic missiles could be right now, they could if they could get the damn thing to get off the ground without blowing up on a regular basis, They have the capability, I guess, of hitting Moscow. As far as so that would be Moscow, that would be L.A., that would be down into the Colorado Rockies, Denver. So it's a serious thing, because as I have mentioned before, there are some countries that you can trust having a nuclear weapon, because you know that it's really more for a deterrent. They're really not going to, unless all hell breaks loose, they're not going to launch. The United States, we've come close a couple of times. United States and Russia, USSR, they've been close, but neither one wanted that so-called mutually assured destruction scenario to take place. So what is it there? It's a deterrent. Our allies that have nuclear weapons, it's there for a deterrent. They're not going to be the first to launch. Even India and Pakistan. Everybody's worried about India and Pakistan. Look, India and Pakistan, they don't want to poison their side of their little corner of the planet either. So it's a deterrent to one another. In China, everybody else has got them. Who's big, so we better protect our own people. Use it as a deterrent. So they're not out there willing, because they none of the nuclear countries that have nuclear weapons today, none of them wants to really use them. They have no wish to join their god of choice or preference early. Now, on the other hand, there are some nations, or some rulers of some nations, that are just such nut jobs that they would use them as a first strike. Hell, Iran has already said that, the Ayatollahs, they've got to help usher in the world calamity so they could usher in, Allah's heaven on earth. And it can only come through fire and fighting and war. And they'd be more than happy to start it by launching nukes everywhere. They don't care about dying. They think it's a great, hey, this life to an Islamist, this life is hell. They want to go to heaven as soon as possible. So they're more than willing to destroy, to kill and destroy and maim and burn and pillage until they get there. And North Korea, that whole family, there's something wrong with that family. I don't know. It must be inbreeding or something up there, because that whole line, that whole succession of lineage of leaders up there, they're all crazy. They're enormous nut jobs. They're insane, literally. I'm not a mental health professional, but I would say that is probably what insanity looks like. They're insane. They have no regard for human life. If they did, they wouldn't treat their own people the way that we know that their own people are being treated. They just wouldn't do it. So those are the kinds of people that the rest of the world has determined that you cannot have such a destructive weapon, because you will use it. Not in defense of your country. You'll make up some bullshit. We're going to blow up the United States. Why? What have we actually done against North Korea? Well, seriously. What has the West, South Korea, Japan, what have they done to North Korea at all to deserve the ire of the Norks? What exactly have they done? Don't give me this stuff. Well, there was war and everything. Yeah, we've had. Well, do we still hate Japan and Germany? No, they're our allies now. Come on. So what exactly has the rest of the world since, I don't know, let's just say since the Korean War, which they started, by the way, what has the world done to them? Nothing. They just said, well, we don't want you to have nukes because you're full of a bunch of nut jobs and you use them, and it's dangerous for the rest of the world for you to get nukes. So we're gonna put some, we're gonna try to twist your arm, economically speaking, so you agree not to get nukes. Is that it? What else is there? They can't even give us a reason why they hate the United States. So whether U.S. is the devil, blah. Why? Because we don't want you to have a nuke that you can develop to hit us with. How does that make us evil? They're insane over there. I love that. It's the same with Iraq, right? Well, do you want them to be able to have Iraq to be able to have nuclear weapons too? Because knowing it, do we want them to have those weapons? Because they'd be more than happy to hit us or our allies. How about a dirty bomb? Well, movies are pretty amazing. Wasn't it one of the Ben Affleck was in it? One of the clear and present danger type of movies. It was during a game. The president was there, and was it a Super Bowl game? I don't know. But they put a dirty bomb, a mini nuclear bomb, dirty bomb in a vending machine, a Coke machine that got planted at the Super Bowl, where the president was going to be. And Ben Affleck's character, which is also the character of Harrison Ford, in Clear and Present Danger, same guy, just younger. And it goes off. There was even a was it a mini-series? It looked like a news program. Anybody remember? I can't remember the name of this. Maybe it was back in the 90s. But it was done in such a way where they had to put a disclaimer on the screen saying this is not a real news event, because they made it look like it was breaking news. The whole miniseries is about. It was a terrorist, pre-terrorist that we know today terrorist. It was a pre-terrorist terrorist attack where a nuclear bomb went off. Was it in Baltimore? It was one of the eastern seacoast cities that it went off on. It was a small nuclear bomb that detonated. The bomb guys were there trying to defuse this, and they weren't able to defuse it, and it went off in the marina. And they were talking about, the radioactive footprint and the fallout and how many people were going to die after the explosion. I mean, it was kind of like one of those miniseries, like the miniseries with Chris Christopherson. Called America with a K. Yeah, it was bad, but it looked real. It looked like it was a real news thing, so they had to put up a disclaimer. I can't remember what it is, but anyway. So it's the same type of thing. So this is what the Iranians could do if they could get a hold of making a nuclear weapon. They wouldn't have to launch it per se from, we're all concerned about them getting it and putting it on missiles and launch. We don't have to worry about that so much. Because that's the stuff that's easy to take out. What's not so easy to take out is the terrorists who get these things and put these things in a suitcase. Or, in the case of the Clear and Present Danger type of movie, in a locker or vending machine, soda machine. I mean, that's the last thing we need to have happen anywhere. And we know these people are more than willing to utilize this type of equipment. This type of warfare. They're more than willing to engage in this type of warfare. So none of us are safe. So this whole thing, we every once in a while we'll get this, civilians, the United States attacked this encampment of Al Qaeda or whoever, and some civilians were killed. We just had more civilians killed in Paris this week, did we not? Who the hell do these terrorists always attack? Are they attacking any military installation? No, they're attacking cops and civilians. And yet we're worried about every time that we go and try to stop them that a few civilians get killed along the way. And then our media gets so pissed off. Well, let me tell you something. We're the only ones who believe that we're at war with only the militants of their operations. They believe that they're at war with every single one of us. You see the difference? We better wake up to this fact. I think Trump understands this and is saying we can't let these kinds of countries get this technology in their head because, it isn't about them putting it on a missile, an intercontinental ballistic. That's not we're all focused on, well, geez, they're getting this intercontinental ballistic missile technology online. They could hit. That's not the problem. Wake up, folks. The problem is them getting the capability of making a nuclear warhead to begin with, because then they can shove it into a briefcase or a vending machine and send it across the ocean undetected and plant it anywhere, anytime they want. Because they're not going to attack a military installation. I guarantee you. So you people out there, you wonderful snowflakes that think that that's what this is all about. Well, they're only going to attack a military. No, they're not. They're not the USSR. They're not going to attack a military installation. They're going to attack a major U.S. populated center, because the more deaths, the better, the bigger bang for their buck. I'm not the only one who thinks so. Hell, all of our intelligence agencies know that this is the case. They've even said it over there in Iran. We're going to hit you where it hurts the most. You think it's going to hurt us the most if they hit an air base? No. Where do you think it's going to hurt the most if they do exactly what they did in that movie and hit us at a football game with 100,000 people?
If you love to smoke, then you know there's no place left in America where you can light up a butt these days. That's why Carnival is proud to offer our new Smokers Cruise. You'll board our luxury liner and be off to, who cares where you go. The point is, you'll be in international waters where you can smoke 24 hours a day for a full 2 weeks.
They let us smoke on the dance floor, at all our meals, even in the pool.
I like all the activities. Smoke-alongs, cigar races. Hey, I met a babe who smokes unfiltered Luckies. What?
The Smokers Cruise. Sign up now for regular or menthol. Hey, it's not just a vacation. It's the lung boat.
It's my friend. Could see me now.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide. Plus, what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
Somebody tried to help me out and tell me the name of the movie that I was talking about was called Black Sunday. No, that wasn't it. Black Sunday was a 70s movie, and it wasn't a terrorist hit, but it was an assassination attempt because the president was attending that Sunday football game. And it was a sniper it was all about a sniper trying to get his positioning in this football stadium to kill the president, I do believe. So it wasn't about destroying the entire stadium, just getting one guy. But so it wasn't Black Sunday, and it's not any given Sunday was That wasn't about terrorism. That was just about football in general. We've had a few movies about football, Major League Football, NFL, that type of thing. But that's not it. I can't remember the name of it. In any case, if you have this device in your home right now, you might want to get rid of them. I know they were expensive, probably. This is why I don't buy those really expensive headphones. Oh, yeah. You never know. Look, I've warned you people about protecting your privacy all the time, how easy it is for people to infiltrate. You got to be careful with this stuff. The audio maker Bose, this is from Fortune magazine, whose wireless headphones sell for up to $350, uses an app built within the headphones to collect the listening habits of its customers and provide that information to third parties without the knowledge or permission of the users, according to a lawsuit filed in Chicago earlier this week. The complaint accuses Boston-based Bose of violating the Wiretap Act and a variety of state privacy laws, adding that a person's audio history can include a window into a person's life and their personal views. And now, by the way, Bose was founded by, and I think it's still run by, basically, by an MIT professor. Yeah, he's an academic, an elitist. He's an intellectual, as it were. Well, it's true. And Dr. Bose, I forget his first name, Dr. Bose. Because it was all about making better sound out of devices or in devices that didn't need to be, the size of a suitcase or something. Remember all the big speakers that you used to have to get if you want a really good sound, rich sound, especially the bass. You had to buy the big bass speakers called Klipsch of the day. Remember? Yes, and those things were massive, huge. But you could feel the bass and hear but then Bose came along with this little machine, this little thing, and everybody's like looking around thinking, where the hell is that? That sound can't be coming out of that. Well, they were able to upgrade that technology and put it into headphones, and everybody's like, you gotta love the Bose headphones, man. And they were so expensive. Now understand that you're spending a premium on this stuff in order to be spied on. Without even we don't even need all these other laws. They just could come up with one simple law that if you sell something, you have to be clear about what is included in it. Is there, because they don't even tell you. There's no way for you to even find out if there was an app on here that spied on you. There was no way for you to know. So it's not even like there was even disclosure. There was no disclosure whatsoever, which is what is causing this lawsuit. No disclosure. So what we need is we need basic laws that say that if you buy something, that if it's a purchase, then you get full rights and ownership of doing just about whatever you want with it, free and clear of any other interruption or spying from the manufacturer or maker. If that is not the case, then you have to say that it is a rental. Because I get tired of looking at something and going to buy it and then find out, well, wait, I don't really own it. I can't transfer it. So I'm not buying it. I'm renting. You want me to pay this horrendous price, and I don't even own it. It's like leasing a car. For most people, leasing a car is a bad mistake. It's a terrible decision. Well, that's what happens with a lot of this stuff. They try to do this with software. They say, that, this software is going to cost you $800, but you don't own the software. Well, if I'm spending $800, I'm going to own it. Now, I'm not saying that I should go out and be able to make copies and sell it, but I'm going to own it and be able to do. You're not going to be able to tell me what I can and can't do with it. And they say, well, no, that's our. Well, then you're telling me that I'm renting it and I don't want it. Can't tell you how many conversations I've had on the phone about software from some of these software salespeople. Well, no, but you need this. No, I don't need you. I don't need your software. Somebody else has got it, probably at half the price, where I'm not going to be ordered and dictated to how I'm going to use it after paying such a ridiculous price. Take a leap. Sometimes, but most people don't even know where to begin. They don't even think that they need to ask that kind of a question when they're buying a freaking headphone set. Oh yeah, you go into Best Buy and the Best Buy clerk doesn't even know it either. So you walk in, you say, "Hey, is this Bose headphones? Are these gonna spy on me?" You know, if you were to ask that question, I bet you the Best Buy or wherever you bought them, the clerk would look at you like you had two heads and say, "What? Are you paranoid?" Well, come to find out, if you actually did ask that question, there is a reason. Because, yeah, but I wonder who else is out there doing that. Is Beats doing the same thing? Those are also very expensive headphones. Are they doing the same thing, collecting your information and then selling it without you even knowing it?
The Red Cross responds to nearly 66,000 disasters every year, most of them house fires. Red Cross President and CEO Gail McGovern says you need to develop an evacuation plan and practice it, especially with your children. It takes just 2 minutes for a home to be engulfed in flames.
Practice those drills. We all think our kids know what to do. They don't. We need to teach them. We have started a large campaign where we're going into vulnerable communities and helping install smoke alarms. Already 92 lives were saved, and 4 of those lives were saved by a 5-year-old girl who remembered what we taught them during these fire drills, and she got her family out. We also have a slew of free apps that people can download onto their smartphones. It's what to do in every kind of disaster you can imagine, how to prepare and how to recover.
To help support all the Red Cross does and to make a financial donation, go to redcross.org. That's redcross.org.
I'm just so happy my father had a chance to see his kids before he passed. I just want to say thank you.
When her father fell ill, the American Red Cross was able to help get Veronica's brother home from the Navy to speak to his father one last time. It's thanks to your donations that we can connect military families when they need it most. Please donate today at redcross.org.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
I considered suicide so I wouldn't put my family through all the pain.
Many of our warriors are returning home from the battlefield, only to face a new war as they struggle with devastating injuries. At Wounded Warrior Project, we understand. We're there to help.
Even though you think you're broken, you're not. It's the physical and the emotional healing that Wounded Warrior Project provides.
With a gift of just $19 a month, you can join Wounded Warrior Project. You'll help provide critically needed programs and services that rebuild lives.
Beautiful. Woo! There you go, buddy.
The ongoing needs of our wounded and their families will continue for many years to come. Now is the time to show your support. Call now or go online with your gift of just $19 a month, and we'll send you this Wounded Warrior Project blanket.
It made me feel that there's people out there that care about us.
After this event, we can finally maybe start to heal as a family and move forward.
We need your help. The families are hurting.
For many of our wounded heroes, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. That's why your gift of just $19 a month is so important. Please call or go online right now.
Bring the rain.
Welcome back. 603-835-3226. That is the number that you can still utilize to call into the program, should you wish to do so. Now, this whole idea, this whole issue with the Bose lawsuit and your privacy came about because of a set of wireless headphones known as the Bose Quiet Comfort 35 wireless headphones. What happened was... the lead plaintiff in this new lawsuit is a man named Kyle Zak, Z-A-K, who claims he followed the company's suggestion to get the most out of your headphones by downloading the Bose Connect app and supplying information such as his name, phone number, and email. Now, Zach is seeking to represent other headphone owners over allegations of illegal data mining. According to the complaint, Bose created detailed profiles of customers, their listening habits, their listening histories, shared it with marketing companies, including a San Francisco firm called Segment, S-E-G-M-E-N-T, whose website offers to collect all of your customer data and send it anywhere. Collect all your customers' data, now that they wrote here, the Fortune, collect all your customer data and send it anywhere. So evidently that's what I'm not sure. I'm probably not reading it and saying it correctly, if that's an accurate portrayal of what they actually said. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Fortune is usually pretty good at but nobody's perfect in their diction and punctuation and spelling and all that kind of stuff. There's occasional error. Now, the lawsuit says that the case is worth more than $5 million, but doesn't specify damage. Bose, whose wireless Quiet Comfort 35 headphones have received enthusiastic reviews, disputed the allegations. Well, either the headphones are sending data or they're not. There's no disputing it. Either they're doing it or they're not. Look, we know that there are devices out there that we buy, that consumers buy, that do spy on us. I mean, and there. Look, how many times have you heard the statement about Mark Zuckerberg from Facebook? Not being amazed at how easy it is to get information, private information, out of people. I mean, why do you think Facebook and Amazon probably know more about most of us in this country than we know about ourselves? Because of all the information that they can glean voluntarily from us by just asking us, and people will give it, by involuntarily by allowing them to utilize cookies, and by sneaky ways by just planting stuff on your computer or tracking you even after you leave their site. Facebook was really famous. I think they got fined in Europe over that one. Planting a cookie in your computer so they could track your whereabouts and movements after you left Facebook. So this stuff is insidious. So yeah, we've got TVs now that have. Why does a TV need a camera? I mean, seriously, Why does a TV, you're supposed to be watching the television. The television is not supposed to be watching you. Why do some TVs have cameras? Well, we found out it was to record you. What you were they watched what you were doing. There was somebody somewhere gathering this data. Oh, this is how they know that people, when they watch sad movies or romantic comedies, that they eat popcorn. And when they watch action movies, that they eat nachos. They sell this information to people. If you ever look at, do you think these commercials on TV are just out of the imaginative brainchild of some ad exec? No, these people get information about what your hot button is for any particular subject or topic or industry, and they're going to play it up. Look, I've been in the industry. I know what I'm talking about. This is none of this. Most of the stuff you see on TV or in anywhere when it's an advertisement, it's not hit or miss. If it's hit or miss, it's because it's an amateur that doesn't know what the hell they're doing, or it's an amateur that doesn't have the wherewithal and the financial means to utilize all the information available at their fingertips. Hell, there's a lot of information that's free that can help you. I mean, Facebook is if you have a page, you got insights. It can tell you a lot about the people who are fans of your page and where they're coming from and what time they most likely view your page and what time they're online. There's all kinds of information. That's even free. But if you pay for it, man, you start getting really detailed stuff about the behaviors of people. And how do they know this stuff? Because they spy on you. That's how. Like these, now I don't know if these Bose headphones actually do what's being alleged, but would it surprise me if they or any other company that had similar products or services that spied? No, it wouldn't surprise me. You see it all the time. You don't have. This is why I say your privacy has long since been dead. You don't have. It is very unlikely. I know there are adults out there. There are very few adults that do not have an online presence whatsoever. I mean, you could Google them and not find a damn. But these are usually older people. Because younger people, if you're under 50, you most likely have even the smallest footprint on. If you're over 50 and you don't have an online footprint at all, it's good for you. It's amazing, actually, even today. But the best you can hope to do is not erase yourself, but to be able to control that footprint. And even then, you don't. I mean, I often don't give all kinds of. Facebook still doesn't have my phone numbers. Still won't give it to them. They ask constantly, won't give it to them. Phone numbers that I give them, they won't accept. I think that's wonderful. Hey, what's your phone number so we can verify you? Well, use this one. No, you're not allowed to use that one. Well, you're not getting a landline number of mine. You're not getting my cell phone numbers. So what numbers do you want? Well, those are the only ones that will accept. Well, too bad you're not getting it. And if somebody, unless I absolutely need that service, if that's what they really want, I won't use that service. I'm sorry, I'm not giving it. There is certain information that I consider to be private and I keep close to the chest, and I'm not giving it up. I don't care who you are. You don't have a right to my information. Not even the government, to tell you the truth. Not without a warrant. So I don't give it up. And neither should you. And if somebody comes across, if I find something that looks like it could be possibly spying, it's out of my house. It's gone. I'm not dealing with that kind of stuff. There's too much fraud, and now people, it's getting to the point where it could be dangerous. I mean, it's one thing to lose your identity and somebody, basically, charges stuff in another state that you've never been to. And buy stuff in your name and you can easily prove that that's not you. It's getting more dangerous than that now. People are being targeted, and they're being targeted for stealing their identity in order for terrorists to be able to further their ambitions. I mean, it's not going to be long before people get caught up and snagged up in identity thefts that are related to terrorism. It's probably already happening. And how do they get all this information? Because of people or companies like, I don't know if Bose is actually guilty of this, but companies like Bose that do this kind of stuff gather this information without your permission, and you don't know what's floating around out there. Just saying, folks. You got to be careful with these companies sometimes. It's really pretty bad. Really pretty bad. Speaking of, this is from Yahoo News. There's a toy company out there that now sells bears that embrace physical. In other words, they're selling teddy bears that are amputees. I kid you not. This can. The Vermont Teddy Bear Company unveiled its limb loss and limb difference bears. Well, here's the story. It's important for children to play with toys that represent themselves in some way, experts say, but the latest company that makes this possible doesn't make toys that look like people at all, actually. The Vermont Teddy Bear Company unveiled its limb loss and limb difference bears this week, featuring stuffed bears that are missing arms and legs. So now you can you can buy. I happen to like, the Vermont Teddy. My nieces have a couple of their bears that I got for them, and I like them. They're high-quality bears. They really are. They're all made in America. That's a good thing. But, I'm not, a bear that's lost his limb or has had his limb amputated. Yes, occasionally we would have a request for a bear with a limb loss. But this is our first time officially introducing a bear with limb loss, said Vermont Teddy Bear product designer Cassandra Clayton. Customers can choose which of the limbs are missing and whether they are gone above or below the elbow or knee, much in the same way they choose their outfits. A fifth of the proceeds from the just a fifth, not a tenth, a fifth. Now, Vermont's a very liberal state now. Not the normal, born and bred Vermonters, but all the immigrants that have come in Vermont over the last 40 years have turned that state very liberal. So instead of a tenth, which, tithe, just a fifth of the proceeds from the limb loss and limb difference bears will be donated to the Amputee Coalition. The bears went on sale yesterday as we near the end of Limb Loss Awareness Month. I did not know that April was Limb Loss Awareness Month. Did any of you know that? Now, I'm in a business to know this kind of stuff. I did not know that. I try to know everything about everything, but even I miss some things on occasion. And that is one of the things that I missed. I do apologize for all the amputees who listen to the program. I did not. I bet most of you didn't know that it was also Limb Loss Awareness Month. But according to the coalition's site, every day 500 Americans undergo an amputation, and as many as 1,000 babies per year are born with a limb difference. Now, these bears join other big toy brands that are giving kids differently abled options. American Girl Doll has versions with cochlear implants and missing hair. Is that for cancer victims, hair loss, missing hair? It's impossible not to delight in these videos of girls receiving dolls with prosthetic limbs like them. Lego released its first figurine with a wheelchair last summer. So Vermont has a number of different. You could get a military hero bear, where he's dressed up in camouflage, has some crutches, and one leg, as a nod to a large number of military vets who have come back missing a leg or two. I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. In a way, it's well. I mean, I'm not going to say it what they say. It celebrates our differences. That's a bunch of BS. But does it? It's not celebrating anything. But does it make some people feel a little bit more comfortable knowing that other people understand and recognize their differences? Now this does rightfully so. It offends some people because some people don't want to be viewed as being different. And this is a glaring example of saying, well, hey, we recognize you're different. We recognize that you're so different that we're making your very own type of toy or doll. And that pisses off some people because they don't want to be viewed as being different. They really don't. They don't want to be reminded. Some people don't want to be reminded that they're different, both either physically or mentally or what have you. They don't want to be reminded. Hey, you ever get to try to eat lunch with a mentally handicapped person? Well, they don't call themselves mentally handicapped, but somebody with autism or something, and they can't do something. Oh, they get pissed because they don't want to be viewed as being different. But yes, us people who are still normal, we want to celebrate the differences we never really ask the people if they want to be celebrated by being different because they don't want to be viewed as being different. Now, some embrace it and they do. Yay, here's a doll that's missing a leg like mine. You just like me. I get that part. But most of them don't even want to be reminded that they're different. So it's 6 of one and half dozen of the other, I guess, when it comes to this sort of thing. Would you buy a differently abled or missing limbed teddy bear? I'm not sure I would.
What if I told you that you could lose weight simply by drinking coffee? Change your coffee, change your life. Our gourmet estate-grown coffee is infused with powerful herbs that help you melt fat and keep you from feeling hungry for 6+ hours. Get results or your money back. Order yours today at skinnycoffeeshop.com. That's skinnycoffeeshop.com. Tea and water also available. skinnycoffeeshop.com.
Have a legal problem and need some serious legal advice? Then you're listening to the wrong podcast.
Any facts we say here are probably wrong. And any analysis of the law should not be followed.
There you go. Reasonable Men are here to take a twisted look at the law.
Stack your hay right.
Learn in hand. Best name in law school.
Check us out on iTunes, reasonablemen.com, or on your favorite podcast app.
Reasonable Men are back.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
I see I need to do an update. I was asked a question about the potential of the weekly video program here on the Rod Eccles Show and other things like that. And as I mentioned earlier in the week with finding out that there is a new YouTube algorithm and new Google algorithm that's really pretty much basically shutting down a lot of if you have controversial content, especially if you're a conservative, YouTube has basically just put the kibosh on a lot of people over on YouTube. And the Google algorithm has just pushed a lot of these people to the bottom of their pages. So we now have to revamp about our distribution method and not utilize YouTube so much. So again, we're looking at Periscope, but Periscope is not the answer, we know. But also we're looking at basically hosting video on our own servers. And with that, means that we are actually making a change to the video style, and we're actually going to build a small video studio here in the Bunkerize studio where we do the audio for the program, and it'll be good. So it's not eliminating it; it's just pushing it back because we have to. It's forcing us to be better, folks. Really. So, and all this stuff will really be coming online by September with the new TV season, traditional TV season. You're going to see a lot of stuff. You're going to see some stuff trickle in over the summer, but you're going to see a lot of stuff just go boom in your face come September. I promise you. We are not pulling the plug on this stuff, but YouTube is forcing us to look at some alternatives and to revamp how this stuff is produced and who it's produced, how it's produced for certain audiences. You know, looking at Facebook, we don't particularly like the Facebook model, but Facebook likes Facebook and all that kind of stuff. So you really got to start looking at different scenarios and how. And it seems like the best scenario might be to have an in-house host yourself, and then disseminate from there to the various locations instead of broadcasting or producing to fit one particular scenario. And that's just look, I don't blame them. So in other words, if we produced in order for it to fit onto the rodeccles.net site and then disseminate it from there to Facebook, to YouTube, to Periscope, to wherever, that seems to be the way that we're going to go. But in order to do that, we got to do some cosmetic stuff here as well. So as well as some, get some software stuff up and running and figure out how to use that software. Did I tell you it took me 2 days to figure out how to use a particular video editing piece of software? And then come to find out I couldn't use it because Facebook and YouTube wouldn't accept it, and I had to figure out how to change it to the file format that they wanted, and then find out that I didn't need it in the first place. So 2 days of my life, gone, can't get back. You're saving time? Nah, can't save any time. Anyway. Finally, Ann Coulter says that, her Berkeley speech, lawyers blast the college for rescheduling during finals, and said that, it's pretty sad that a college cannot keep a speaker safe who wants to exercise their right to free speech on a college campus, no less. And, I can't blame her. Can't blame her for saying it. But she's not backing down. Brave woman. I wouldn't, if I were going to go to Berkeley right now, I wouldn't go without my trusty sidearm. Hell, I might just go out and buy a second one to put on the other side so I can go in, double guns blazing if I needed to. These snowflakes turning into a snow blizzard, it's just ridiculous. There's a lot we still miss, like the Trump supporter who got bashed over the head with what looked like a major bike lock from a college professor, no less. But he's pressing charges. Good for him. Well, we're out of time, not only for today, but for the week, folks. So we'll be back here on Monday, bright and early, 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Until then, have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy your freedom. I'm Rod Eccles. Thanks for listening. I'm out.
Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. A shameless politician always plays her cards right. Got a crew for the fight on the airwaves. Lapdogs in the press keep their mouths tight. Cause a Clinton never needs to explain what, why it is what they done or with who. A real Clinton knows that they're entitled, and you don't get to know what they do.
What difference does it make?
For a Clinton, what's loaded in some fat Oppo file? A Clinton plays the victim for promotion. A Clinton kills it off with a smile. Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. A server full of secrets ain't no thing. Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. Nothing ever hits with the sting.